So here's my thought process. I think that since we as a society have been given more free dopaminic, I just created a new word, dopamine generating activities, the slower we're going to progress, the slower we're going to have, people doing greater things. There's still going to be, I think, the few exceptions, but everybody relies on motivation nowadays. Motivation to study, motivation to go to the gym, motivation to do anything with their life. And the reason why I think this is the way that it is nowadays is simply because the dopamine that we get nowadays is just too accessible, it's too easy, and you almost don't even have to work for it. So think about it. Before, as a human being, call it even 100 years ago, to get dopamine, you would have to do something hard. And you're not thinking and looking for, motivation. You just go and do that thing. You want dopamine? Okay, go for a run. You want dopamine? Okay, go, surprise your romantic partner with something romantic. You want dopamine? Build a business or bring food home. All these sorts of different things. Nowadays, you want dopamine? Open your phone and start scrolling. Boom. Nowadays, you want dopamine? Open Google and watch porn. Nowadays, you want dopamine? You get the point. It is so simple to get dopamine nowadays that everybody makes the excuse, I don't have motivation. So here's the thing. I recently started swimming again. Not because, there's a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons was because I deleted social media. I deleted my most dopaminic, energetic, I'm using words that I'm making up now. I needed dopamine. I needed to feel good after doing something because the only thing that was really giving me dopamine was my workouts. I just go to the gym every day, but that's out of habit. I still wanted to chase something like a good feeling. And after deleting social media, I just randomly thought of, okay, I'm going to go to swim. Not out of motivation, not out of inspiration, not out of anything besides I want dopamine. I'm chasing and craving dopamine. So the point that I'm trying to make is if you're trying to rely on motivation or waiting for that moment to get motivation to go to the gym, or waiting to get motivation or the perfect time to start that business or ask that girl out, whatever your plans may be that you're waiting for, ask yourself what is giving you dopamine right now. And it's usually the cheap dopamine that you want to analyze. Because, going for a cold plunge, that's good dopamine. That's not cheap dopamine. You really have to put yourself in an uncomfortable state to achieve that. Right? Anything that's worth achieving and requires, dopamine, usually requires you to be put in an uncomfortable state. So the more you can put yourself in that uncomfortable state, the more that you can expose yourself willingly to these uncomfortable states, the more you're going to achieve the things that you want rather than just dream about, right? You want, for example, a six-pack. The more you remove cheap dopamine things like TV, news, watching sports, watching, movies all the time, all these other things that I've mentioned previously as well, if you just remove those things, you are going to start achieving so much things that is in the back of your mind because you have no choice but to act on them now, because humans have been designed to constantly and always seek and search dopamine because we're put here to feel good. We want to do things that make ourselves feel good. We don't necessarily like boredom. boredom is important, but that's a topic and another idea I can expand on another video. But we want to feel things, right? We're human beings with emotions, and we want to feel good about ourselves, or just feel something, right? So, point of the video. If you have a goal in the back of your mind, write down the top 5 goals you have on a piece of paper. And answer or ask yourself, why haven't you achieved those things? And more likely than not, the reason is because you're feeding your brain cheap dopamine. Remove the cheap dopamine, and I promise you, watch how much you're going to be, or how much motivation you're just going to get. You're like, why do I feel so motivated all of a sudden? And then you're going to come back to this video and type in, wow, that's insane how that works. It's like once you understand your brain's dopamine system, you can really tweak with your reality and like fine tune your life how you want it. You want to make studying more fun and more easy? Like I'm studying or redoing chemistry right now. I'm redoing grade 12 physics. It sucks ass, but I don't need motivation to do it anymore because I used to. Now it's just something I do because I get the motivation, or I get the dopamine and the happiness from completing a unit, from completing a test, from completing, just completing things and just like moving forward and making progress. But before, I would be like, hell no. Like I would need to like drag myself into this seat to study or whatever. Hope this, inspires some of you to delete some of the cheap dopamine things that you've been using or that you've been taking advantage of. Try it out. Let me know what you think. And yeah, that's the end of the video. Create more than you consume. Serve others. Love everyone. Subscribe if you're new. Love you guys. Peace.